What if the world you inhabit isn't quite as boundless as you've always imagined?
Yeah, what if there's maybe a hidden gate? Somewhere secret.
Exactly, a gate to a secret realm, and everything you know, everything you've been taught, is designed to keep you from finding it.
It's a powerful thought experiment, isn't it?
It really is. Welcome, everyone, to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking a stack of sources, well, actually one really extraordinary document, and pulling out the key insights for you.
And this one is quite something.
It is. It's titled The Gilded Cage, The Secret of the Pacific Gate. And look, this isn't just a casual read. It lays out this fascinating, very unsettling narrative.
Definitely unsettling. It talks about control, hidden passages,
Yeah.
the true nature of, well, our existence, according to this source.
Right. So our mission today is to really unpack the document's biggest claims. It suggests our world is, get this, a contained realm, a great pen for humanity.
A pen, like livestock.
That's the imagery, yeah. And we're going to explore what it says about this single Pacific Gate and this intricate web of forces that are supposedly guarding it,
And keeping everyone else in the dark.
keeping us in the dark. We'll touch on concepts the source calls the Oka Club, something called the Elysian Fields, this overarching game, and, well, us, the pawns.
Pawns in the game.
It's certainly a compelling story the source puts together. I'm really interested to see how it connects all these dots.
And from my perspective, what's really illuminating here is looking at how such a huge, all-encompassing narrative gets built, how it's sustained. This deep dive lets us look at the claims, sure, but also what they might suggest about, that human desire for hidden truths, that feeling that there's more going on underneath.
Secret history behind the scenes.
Exactly. And the power of these kinds of ideas, we're basically stepping into a world where, if this document is to be believed, everything we think we know might just be smoke and mirrors. Carefully arranged smoke and mirrors.
Okay, let's dive in. The foundational claim, the Gilded Cage, starts with something pretty provocative, intentionally so, I think,
Oh, definitely.
that the world is a contained realm, a great pen for humanity. And like any pen, it claims there's an exit, just one.
Just one gate. Imagine that. Thinking about our entire existence inside some kind of boundary.
It's a big shift in perspective.
It is. And the document is explicit. It says, and I'm quoting here, in the divine cipher, the world is a contained realm, a great pen for humanity. But like any enclosure, it has a gate.
So not just a metaphor.
No, the source presents it as very literal, a physical exit, a core hidden truth about everything.
And gives this exit a name, the Pacific Gate. The story here, according to the document, is clear. This isn't some, spiritual thing.
Not at all.
It's described as the one true physical passage between the pen of humanity and the hidden paradise of the elites, the Elysian Fields.
Elysian Fields.
Yeah.
Classic paradise reference. But here it's exclusive. Very exclusive.
Reserved for the few. And the document even gives a location, which is surprising, actually.
Yeah, usually these things are vague.
Right. But this says it's a passage through the great ice walls, located in the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean, east of the Bay of Bengal.
Wow. Specific. Ice walls in the Pacific.
That's what it claims. And it uses this really dramatic phrase, calls our world a zoo.
A zoo. Seriously.
Yep. And this passage is the one true exit from the zoo. It really paints this picture of humanity as, like, captive animals, totally unaware.
The zoo. Okay. That's vivid.
It is. And passing through this gate, the source claims, means you leave what it calls the game board.
Right. The border we're all playing on, supposed.
And you enter the realm of the players. It even mentions the true Pillars of Hercules, describes them as two principles, alpha and beta, that define the boundaries of this whole game.
Okay, so it's not just a physical wall. It's a whole conceptual framework for reality itself.
Seems like that.
The game board is our world. We're the pawns, right? Manipulated by these players. And these Pillars of Hercules, alpha and beta, they're key because, well, the source says alpha is like control, order, the status quo narrative.
Okay.
And beta represents discovery, truth, the potential to actually break out. So these forces are always in tension, defining the limits of the pen.
This is a profound thought. I mean, just picture it for yourself, a world that's suddenly way smaller, way more controlled, with a definite edge you were never, ever supposed to even think about finding.
It reframes everything, your whole sense of freedom, your place in the cosmos.
Completely. Okay, so if there's a gate this important...
Needs guards.
Exactly. There have to be guardians.
Yeah.
And the Gilded Cage introduces us to the OK Club. These are supposedly the main orchestrators, the guardians of this sacred passage.
The OK Club. Interesting name.
It is, and the document says very clearly that the history of the Guardians is the history of the game's evolution. So, like a secret line of control changing over centuries.
And it's interesting how the document does this. It takes known historical groups and reinterprets them as, well, secret agents for this club.
Right.
It's a common technique in these grand conspiracy stories, actually. It makes it feel more plausible, maybe. Using familiar power structures but giving them a hidden, darker purpose. The O Club is supposedly the constant force behind all these different guards.
So let's look at the progression it lays out. It claims the first and maybe most brilliant guardian force was the East India Company.
Ah, the EIC.
Yeah, but not just the trading company we know from history books, right? According to this, it was a private army, navy, and government established by the O Club.
That's a significant reinterpretation, far beyond just trading spices.
Way beyond. The source points to its base in the strategic Bay of Bengal, saying this location was vital.
Because it's near the supposed gate location, a choke point.
Exactly. So its public mission trading spices, tea, whatever, that was just a perfect ruse for its true purpose, to monitor and control the sea lanes leading to the Pacific Gate.
Using their known logistical network, their ships, their soldiers, but for this secret job.
Right. And their fleets weren't just protecting cargo. They were the original gate police, as the source puts it.
The police.
But then the narrative gets darker. It talks about their most profane act, trafficking opium.
Which, historically, they definitely did.
Yes, but here it's given this symbolic weight. It's called the physical essence of the sleeping monarch, and they allegedly used it to pacify the populations of the pen.
Wow. So, not just guarding the exit physically, but actively drugging the inmates, so to speak, keeping them docile, unaware.
That's the claim. Keeping people compliant so they don't even look for the gate.
That implies a really deep level of control. Physical guarding plus physiological pacification.
Mm-hmm.
The document suggests the sleeping monarch is like humanity's potential to wake up to the truth, right? To the pen, the gate.
Yeah.
So opium was the tool to keep that potential dormant, keep the monarch asleep, prevent any curiosity, any rebellion. That's a particularly insidious detail in this whole story.
It really is. So the narrative moves on. The East India Company serves its purpose, gets dissolved, and the source claims its sacred duty passed to an even bigger player.
Who's next?
The British Royal Navy. The document says the ringmasters of the British monarchy used their massive global empire as a ready-made network of control.
Okay, the British Empire as gate guardians, that certainly gives you a different perspective on rural Britannia.
Doesn't it? But the source gets specific again. It says the Navy patrolled this precise chain of control stretching from South Africa to India to the Indo-Malayan Islands.
So not just protecting trade routes like in the standard history.
No. The source insists it was to ensure no uninitiated pawn could ever stumble upon the gate. They're literally called the wardens of the water, always watching.
So the whole expansion of the empire, in this view, wasn't just about power or money. It was about extending the reach of this secret watch, covering more of the approaches to the gate.
It makes a strange kind of sense within the narrative's logic. And this historical line brings us right up to today.
Who holds the keys now, according to the Gilded Cage?
The Five Eyes Intelligence Alliance. UK, US, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand.
Ah, the modern intelligence network.
Described here as the supranational secret service of the OK Club and their physical presence. Maintained by the U.S. military on these heavily fortified fortress islands like Guam and Wake Island.
Strategically placed in the Pacific. Modern watchtowers. Makes sense.
Yeah. This evolution shows a shift, doesn't it? From visible imperial power, like the EIC and the Navy.
Right. Very overt.
To these more covert, interconnected intelligence networks. It suggests maybe an adaptation, more sophisticated control over time.
It does. Better surveillance, faster response, less public visibility. These fortress islands, the source calls them the modern rooks on the game board.
Rooks, like in chess. Powerful, straight-moving pieces.
Exactly. Implying they're strong, unyielding defenders. The ultimate gate police for today, watching over the most important secret in the world.
So, okay, guarding the gate itself is obviously key in this story. But the source says that's not enough.
Right, you can't just guard the door.
The elites, it claims, also have to ensure the pawns never even think to look for it.
Prevent the question from ever being asked.
Precisely. And this is done through what the document calls a three-pronged strategy of containment. It's not just physical barriers, it's mental, systemic.
And that's crucial to the whole argument, isn't it? That true control isn't just stopping people physically, but stopping them from even imagining there's something to be stopped from reaching.
Yeah, shaping reality so thoroughly that the idea of a pen or a gate just sounds ridiculous.
So what's the first prong?
The source calls it their most effective tool, the psychological prison.
Okay.
Through control of science and education, it claims, the world has been indoctrinated with the globe model, Earth as a sphere.
Which is, the standard scientific model.
Of course. But the document argues that by convincing everyone they live on a spinning ball with no edges, no boundaries, this has psychologically eliminated the very concept of a boundary to be found.
Wow. So the very shape of the world we're taught is, in this narrative, a form of mental containment.
That's the assertion. Think about it. If you believe the world is infinite, or at least loops back on itself, why would you ever go looking for an edge or an exit?
It does make the idea of a finite pen seem absurd from the get-go. It's a powerful psychological tool, if true within this narrative, playing on our perception of scale, of possibility.
It's a fundamental block. Then there's the second prong, the economic leash.
Money always comes back to money.
Well, the source claims the elites designed this whole economic game based on the penny and the pound. And get this.
What?
The currencies are supposedly named for the pen and the pound where the pawns are kept.
No, really. That's quite a claim. Penny for the pen, pound for the animal pound.
That's the direct implication of the text. And the purpose of this whole economic system.
Let me guess. Keep people busy.
Exactly. Designed to keep the masses in a state of perpetual work and debt, ensuring they lack the time, resources, or will for true exploration.
So the daily grind isn't just, how economies work. It's a deliberate design feature of the game.
According to this document, yes. It creates this mental and physical exhaustion. Travel, exploration, independent research. Those become luxuries most pawns can't afford. It anchors people, keeps them stuck.
It's a heavy thought that the struggle to make ends meet might be, in this view, a form of control, keeping you too busy, too tired, too broke to look up, let alone look for a gate.
Heavy indeed. And finally, prong 3, the legal barrier. The source says the final wall is legal.
How so? Laws.
Specifically, the Antarctic Treaty.
Ah, the international agreement managing Antarctica.
Right. The document states that the Great Ice Wall that forms the outer boundary of the pen, which it seems to equate with Antarctica, has been declared an internationally protected scientific preserve.
Which it is, largely, for science and environmental protection.
Yes, but the source concludes this is actually a global conspiracy to make it illegal to approach the walls of the prison.
So environmental protection as a cover story, for keeping people away from the edge.
That's the interpretation here. It implies that trying to sail too close or fly over restricted parts isn't just breaking international law. It's challenging the prison walls and might attract the attention of the gate police.
It's a comprehensive picture, isn't it? Reinterpreting international cooperation and environmental law as fundamentally tools of confinement, the final lock on the cage.
It is. So let's recap. The core narrative from the Gilded Cage, the secret of the Pacific Gate. It's a lot to take in.
Definitely.
This idea that our world is a contained realm, a great pen, that there's one physical Pacific gate out, leading to this elite paradise, the Elysian Fields.
Guarded by this evolving chain of entities, East India Company, Royal Navy, now the Five Eyes Alliance, operating from Fortress Islands.
And humanity, the pawns, kept inside not just by those guards, but by this three-pronged strategy.
Right. The psychological prison of the globe model, the economic leash of work and debt, and the legal barrier exemplified by the Antarctic Treaty. It's incredibly detailed, a picture of total, multi-layered control.
So why should you, listening right now, care about this intricate, maybe even outlandish narrative?
Well,
because, according to this deep dive into the Gilded Cage, these are supposedly the very mechanisms that ensure the pawns remain safely in their pen, never realizing that a gate to another world lies just over the horizon.
yeah, and maybe that leaves us with one final provocative thought to chew on. If we really do exist in some kind of gilded cage, how would our everyday assumptions, the things we take for granted, prevent us from even perceiving the walls, let alone looking for the gate?